to Engage MH, the Power of Mixing podcast, Moet Hennessy's first portfolio show. I'm Angela Sauvé, Director of Trade Engagement, and I am so excited to be here with my co-hosts today, Senior Managers of Trade Engagement, Rich Buchanan and Laura Catlaw.
Hi guys, pleasure to be here, pleasure to be back.
Yes, episode 3.
Buenos dias.
We have a special show for you today because today the theme is tequila.
Tell us everything we're going to cover today.
I'd be happy to, because we are going to discuss the fascinating rise of super premium tequila with Deena Sayers. She's a renowned bar and beverage consultant with an impressive resume and background in the trade. And we'll learn how to craft a magical, delicious black tie, Volcan X.A Black Tie cocktail with Brian Stewart.
I feel like this is an episode that is going to be near and dear to your heart, as to give the game away, Angela's birthday is Cinco de Mayo. So I'm sure you're very much looking forward to telling us a fabulous story.
I am. I think my birthday is actually the day that the most tequila is consumed in the United States.
No better person than you to kick it off then.
Well, I would be happy to tell you a story about the fascinating history of the iconic spirit of Mexico. So, Rich, it was very fitting with your Spanish introduction.
I didn't even know what the topic was today.
You just speak Spanish randomly.
Yeah, just randomly.
So before tequila was a spirit, before tequila was a town, tequila was a volcano that last erupted 200,000 years ago and shaped the land of Mexico. And Mexico is where Blue Weber agave, the succulent which tequila is made from, would thrive.
Wait, so I think it's important. People understand what agave is. I think a lot of people think it's a cactus of some sort, but it's actually part of the succulents family. And fun fact, it's actually related to asparagus.
There you go.
There you go.
The more you know.
There's your fun fact.
So from this hardy obsidian-filled land, North America's oldest spirit was born. Now, fascinatingly, tequila didn't start at all like how we know and enjoy it today. It started as a prized fermented drink of the Aztecs, and it was known as pulque. Pulque was made from the sap of the agave plant, and it looked like a milky liquid. And it was so renowned and beloved by the Aztecs that they worshipped 2 gods to protect it. How crazy is that?
That's incredible.
That's major.
Yeah. Pulque was something that they enjoyed for many years until they got a surprise visit from the Spanish conquistadors. And that was around the 1400s. Now, the Spaniards were known to love brandy. And as they were conquering, they can only bring so much brandy on a ship. So when they got to Mexico and they, stayed there, the brandy ran out and they had to find another solution. And so they decided that they would improvise with the Aztecs' prized pulque. And so they would take it up a notch. They would create mud stills, primitive mud stills, and distill the agave plant juice, ultimately creating the very first mezcals.
Sorry, can we pause there? So I know the episode's about tequila. You're talking about mezcal. Talk me through how we're getting from mezcal to tequila.
Yeah, so historically, mezcal was the generic term. Or it still is the generic term for any agave spirit in Mexico. So tequila is a type of mezcal. That said, I think we could have an interesting conversation about how I think the average consumer thinks about what mezcal is and what tequila is, because they are generally very different spirits. So we can start with location. Tequila comes generally from the state of Jalisco, mezcal from the state of Oaxaca. They use different agave. So Angela just mentioned the Blue Weber agave. So tequila is one type of agave they can use, where mezcal, there's dozens of agaves that they can use for mezcal. And the process creates a much smokier spirit for mezcal. So mezcal has a very obvious smoky note. And I'm generalizing quite a bit. And there's a lot of differences here, a lot of nuance. But there you go. That's a top line mezcal.
Top line. That's how mezcal and tequila.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rich. Yeah, it's a big category, right?
Yeah.
So the original mezcals, thank you, Rich, created by the Spaniards, and the love for tequila, or mezcal at the time, continued to grow. And in the early 1600s, the first large scale distillery was built in what is now known as Tequila in Jalisco, in Mexico. And then in 1758, the first commercial distillery opened. So tequila's fame has been long-lived, and it has continued to rise ever since. Now, the Mexican government took note of this gem of a spirit that they have coming out of their country. So, like the strict legal regulations that the French have put on cognac and on champagne, the Mexican government declared that tequila was its country's intellectual property. And in 1974, they set forth regulations and, the laws, right? That really dictate what can be called tequila, and also for mezcal as well. And some of those laws included where, like you said, Rich, like where it can be made and where it can be aged, and it had to be only in certain areas of Mexico. And then this law made it illegal for any other country to craft or produce something called tequila. Now, thinking about the tequila experience, I mean, we've all known and loved tequila as long as we've been of age, right? In the United States, tequila has seen, different days than it's seeing right now. Not that many years ago, it was seen as a humble spirit, the cheap shot of choice. Mm-hmm. And fascinatingly, since around 2015, we've seen this meteoric rise of super premium tequilas that are really focused on quality, like 100% Blue Weber agave, innovations with aging and blending. I mean, a real focus on craftsmanship. And you have brands like Moet Hennessy's Volcan de mi Tierra that are breaking the mold. There is a synergistic partnership between the authentic Mexican Gallardo family and Moet Hennessy that are focusing on crafting luxury agave spirits from a single distillery.
And, I was listening to you thinking that's such an incredible journey from where they started to where they are now.
Right, from very humble beginnings to the tequila that we know and love today. And now this focus on super premium tequila, from pulque to premium. It's incredible.
Let's talk about super premium tequila. Let's talk about Volcan X.A. For the listeners, I just brought out a bottle and plopped it onto the table.
I adore this bottle. When I had the pleasure of joining the brand, this was one of the bottles that stood out to me. What I love about it is actually the history and the heritage that's built in the bottle. So something I just recently learned from Angela is that actually the volcano that she just spent some time sharing with us, you can actually see in the punt of the bottle, and then it has this fabulous, sexy ombre. I think this is a pretty beautiful packaging.
If you've not seen the X.A bottle, go on your internet machine and look up a photograph of it.
Go to the store and buy it.
And also go to the store and buy it. So I brought this bottle out because I wanted to share a few things I love about Volcan X.A. Volcan X.A is the ultimate expression of Volcan. Simply, ultimate expression of Volcan. And it brings up this idea of blending, which we talk about in cognac, we talk about in champagne, but you don't really talk about blending that much in maybe other categories. And I love we've brought that topic to tequila. The name X.A stands for extra ages. And it's a blend of reposado, añejo, extra añejo tequila that's been rested in these bespoke oak barrels. And the cool thing is that these barrels bring this natural sweetness to the tequila. We'll talk about how they don't have any additives here. There's no sugar, nothing being added to it. But the tequila has this natural sweetness, which is so attractive, kind of on top of the very complex dried fruit, vanilla, caramel notes. Volcan X.A is 100% Blue Weber agave. And that's it.
Quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this different? You're saying that other tequilas are not additive free, or?
It's a small population of the tequila universe that is additive free. And so Volcan X.A, as well as the entire Volcan range, is additive free. The only thing in that bottle, agave and water. That's it. Nothing else. No coloring, no sugar, no glycerin, no additives.
Okay.
There you go. Like you're saying, and this is kind of rare. It's very unusual. Equally rare is our NAM.
1523.
1523 is our NAM. Now, if you're not familiar with what a NAM is a numeric code that's on every single bottle of tequila, and you can use that code to look up where the distillery is that makes it. And what's rare about our NAM,
1523,
thank you, is that's one of a small elite group. That is one brand and one distillery. So the only thing we make at the Volcan Distillery is Volcan. I did some math. I think it's actually less than 1% of tequila on the market is that relationship of a 1-to-1 ratio.
That's rare.
Yeah.
Okay, so distill that all down for me. What are the 3 things I need to know?
Okay, so Volcan is bringing the art of blending to tequila, number 1. Volcan X.A is the ultimate expression of Volcan. And we talked about rarity. So it's rarity that there's no additives, and it's a single distillery, single brand for Volcan. And it also makes a wicked tequila old-fashioned.
Just your drink of choice?
That might be the most important factoid, actually. Yeah.
And speaking of cocktails, Rich, we are ready for our next section called Shake It Up. And we are thrilled to have Deena Sayers. Deena, welcome to the show. Your bio is so impressive, and I have to share it with our listeners and our viewers. Deena, you're a New York City-based bar and beverage consultant who has put your magic touch on over 200 bars and restaurants on, wait for it, in 5 countries.
It's incredible. We're so absolutely thrilled that you are here.
Making me blush.
You're worth it.
I mean, your knowledge, your experience in operational management, computer programming, your talent of craft cocktailing. You thrive on consulting businesses, whether it's, new businesses or overhauls of wearisome bar programs. And with your innovative marketing strategies, your brand partnerships, along with your sound operational procedures, you design programs that are tailored for each venue. And I love that your goal is to set each bar up for success by personally educating each staff member with creative techniques, along with speed and efficiency. And if that wasn't impressive enough, Deena, you also have a line of salts called Mez Salts, which are your way of sharing your love for creating unique and vibrant cocktails for a wider reach. That's impressive.
Thank you.
I feel like I need to step up my game sitting next to you a little bit. No, we're absolutely thrilled. Thank you. No, we're absolutely thrilled that you're here.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank
it's
you
an
for
honor to be
joining
here.
us. So since this episode is all about tequila, what is your favorite tequila cocktail and why?
Well, in reality, it's a shot of tequila. But we'll go if we're talking about cocktails. It's a Tommy's Margarita. Very simple, 3 ingredients: raw agave, fresh lime juice, and quality tequila. Shake that up real nice, and you got a perfect drink for the entire day, the entire evening. It's great outside, especially in the summer.
Angela actually recently had me experience that cocktail, and it's surprisingly exciting considering how simple it is.
Yes,
So
definitely.
I love that.
Excellent choice. And as we've just shared, you have an incredible background. Could you tell us a little bit more about your journey?
Well, I started very young. Started in my grandmother's catering hall. So I used to go to work with my mom, and I started in the coat check. I needed like a little box to stand up, and I would check the coats for people when they came in. And then when I got tall enough, I started washing dishes. And then I finally graduated to prep cook, and then finally made it out to the floor where I could serve, and then started to bartend. Gave all that up to go to college. And then after college, I worked for a POS company called Aloha. So that's one of the top companies that does, you see them behind the bar, they look like computer screens, but they manage inventory, they manage payroll, they manage employees clocking in, out, and manage your cost of goods. It just has a lot of different functions in a restaurant or bar. And because I had a strong hospitality knowledge already, I just had to learn the back end of the software to program it. But then I got introduced to restaurant owners all across New York City. So I got to see the inside operations of hundreds of bars and see what was right and what was wrong. And it was just fascinating to me how many people would open up a bar, not have a lot of knowledge in how to operate, or what's going to be good for this location, and what's going to be good for this neighborhood, or what's the best way to do this. So I found that my knowledge through this was invaluable to a lot of people. So I just kept adding on my list of what I can offer. So I started really diving into the mixology world, coming from a kitchen background where I was always involved in the food. I translated that into my drink recipes and then just kept expanding from there.
That's incredible. You truly know every role in behind the scenes, right? Whether it be a restaurant, et cetera. That's incredible. And with all of your knowledge and your experience and working and partnering with over 200 bars and restaurants and in 5 countries, what sweeping trends are you seeing with tequila? And I'd be specifically interested to hear about the United States because we've seen a huge change. So can you speak to that?
Yes, definitely. There has been an uphill climb for premium tequilas. It started back when 1942 first became popular, but they didn't even have it as like an extra añejo. It was in a category all by itself. But then everybody started to see, okay, people don't want just the Blanco or the Reposado that's aged a little bit. They are looking for more depth. They are looking for more flavor. They're looking for more characteristics that you get when you're aging a tequila. So people started to copy that trend and like give the people what they wanted. But with that takes time. So it took a couple of years for it to catch on because that's how long it takes to age the tequila to that standard.
Yeah, it's a patient, it's patience.
Yeah.
It's patient craftsmanship. Why do you think that there's been this trend of, customers, consumers trading up? Why do you think that this is happening?
I think there's 2 different reasons why. So there's the younger generation that are looking to floss. They want
Floss?
That's the word?
Yeah, to show off.
Floss. I get it.
Yeah, so they want everybody in the whole bar to see the bartender pull down that beautiful bottle from the top shelf to pour into their glass. They want to show off. There's that aspect of it, but then there's also the educated consumer in their 30s and 40s, and they are looking at like the health consciousness of it. Alcohol is not healthy. I'll never say that, but agave spirits are the healthiest to consume for your body with the glycemic index and also the way your body processes it. It's not as volatile as other spirits. So people are really like feeling better the next day after drinking tequila, as long as it's quality tequila with no additives. And they're seeing that and they want to learn more. They want to try more. They want to see what the Reposado and the Añejo and the extra Añejo is all about.
We have to make better choices.
Yes.
So, we've talked about the trends, the trading up. What are consumers specifically asking for, and how are they enjoying this more super premium tequila?
Well, COVID did change everything. There was a lot of tequila that was unavailable, where it couldn't get here. So that changed people's mindset of what they wanted and what they could get. But now they were kind of leaning towards this fancy bottle of Clase Azul. That kind of broke the ice to people paying more for higher products. So now that they've kind of broken that ice and tequila is widely available again, people are exploring. They are, whenever I hear Volcan X.A on the back bar, people are interested in this bottle. It's just striking, especially when you see it on the back. It really stands out. So they're seeing and they're educating themselves more on what's out there.
What is your super premium tequila of choice?
We have to know. I think I just dropped the hint, but no, in all honesty, I actually really, truly enjoy Volcan X.A. And because it is not, I feel like a lot of the premium tequilas that are trying to be like cater to that younger crowd add a little bit of sugar or sweetener into it to make it quote unquote smoother, more palatable for the younger consumer. But I love that it's drier. You feel the oak that it's aged in. You kind of feel all of those agave notes where it's like the little bit of sugar that the other people add to it kind of washes that out.
I agree. It's fantastic. And if you're listening or watching, if you haven't tried Volcan X.A, you've got to do it. Now, we've been staring at these beautiful mezcals in front of us. This is your innovation. This is your baby.
Yes.
Can you tell us where the idea for these came from? How did you decide on the flavors and what specific flavors we have here today?
Well, this actually came to fruition, like all great companies, by complete accident. I was working on a beverage program that had over 100 different types of agave on the back bar. And everybody was drinking agave-based cocktails, but nobody was touching my beautiful back bar that I spent a lot of time educating my staff on. And it was breaking my heart. I'm like, try this tequila, try this mezcal. But nobody wanted to sip it, and they didn't want to pay that higher price and sip it. It was just still too foreign to them to sip agave spirits. So I was like, all right, well, let's do what they do in Mexico. And in Mexico, they'll serve it on a plate with a little copita, and they serve either the tequila or the mezcal, and they put some fresh fruit, and they put either a worm salt or a grasshopper salt, and you can dip the fruit in the salt and take a sip. It's like cheese and wine. So it's like you can have a bite, have a sip, or vice versa. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just made to complement each other and have the whole experience. So I tried to recreate that, but without bugs, to make it catered to Americans.
I don't know if the bug salt would go over very well.
Yeah, I mean, pound for pound, it has more protein than chicken, but that's not usually what people are looking for when they're going out drinking. So the 4 flavors here that we have, I created these specifically for Volcan X.A. Did a little research with my friend Joey Prego. Shout out Joey.
Joey.
Where we came up with 4 unique blends to perfectly match with the flavor profile of Volcan X.A. So we have banana, mocha, marshmallow, and Madagascar vanilla.
Those sound delicious.
Yes.
We have
And
to do
they're
a
all
salt
made
tasting.
with edible gold dust, which perfectly matches the bottle.
So cool.
Those are the coolest salts. Or is would you use the word floss? Are these flossy? Is that a
mean-
word?
Flossy salty?
Flossy salty. Hashtag flossy salty.
Okay. Let's see if we could start a trend.
Well, those are so creative and innovative, and we really are going to do a salt tasting in a
Yes.
bit.
Totally.
So we have one last question for you. This is an important one for us because with your incredible experience, your knowledge, your know-how, we want to learn from you. So what's one lesson that your job or many jobs has taught you that you think everyone should learn at some point in their life?
Well, this is actually something that me and my coworkers have joked about many times, and it's that everybody should work in hospitality for a minimum of 1 year. Just to be on the other side of it, to feel the finger snapping and the hey, 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 and the rude attitudes, but then also get the compliments and have somebody smile and say, thank you, you made my day better. Just to hear, like, to have both sides of the spectrum and everything in between, from dealing with people and making their day, trying to make their day better. Everybody should experience that so that they can go out and be human in the world.
I couldn't agree more.
So, are you ready to get flambéed?
I guess I have no choice.
Well, you have a choice.
All right.
All right, let's do it. All right, what is flambé? Flambé is 12 rapid-fire questions coming your way. Don't think too much about it. The goal is just to get to know you a little bit better and have some fun.
Okay.
Ready? All right, now don't cheat because you can look at my cards here. All right, Volcan X.A at the club or an X.A margarita at a music festival?
Ooh, at the club.
At the club, my kind of girl. Taco or burrito?
Taco.
Dive bar or swanky bar?
Dive.
Favorite city in the world?
Buenos Aires.
I love it. Favorite part of your day?
Sleep.
I should get more of that.
Me too.
All right, tell us your favorite way to unwind.
Just to sit down with a glass of wine or a premium tequila and read a book.
With your salts.
Yes.
All right, tell us probably the most important question of all. What is your favorite go-to toast or cheers?
Well, in the spirit of tequila, it's arriba, abajo, centro, adentro.
I would repeat that, but I will probably mess it up. Thank you so much for being flambéed.
Thank you.
Deena, we have to say thank you so much for your time. You have made our day better.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Being here.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor. 3rd episode.
And now it's time for Up Neat and On the Rocks with Brian Stewart. Welcome, Brian.
Yes, thank you so much for having me back. I wasn't sure if I was welcome back, but it is so nice to see all of your faces
You
again.
are welcome back.
Welcome back.
Always welcome. Now, your segment's one of our favorites because we're going to be learning how to craft an amazing cocktail. What do you have in store for us today?
This cocktail is near and dear to my heart. It is a Brian Stewart original. This is a cocktail I'm calling the Black Tie. Just because originally when I created this cocktail, it was actually for a very, very formal event. And I originally created it with a different spirit. But when I was introduced to Volcan X.A, something just went off in my head. I was like, that cocktail I had, the Black Tie, it's okay, but I think with XA interjected into it, it becomes exceptional. So I tried it, and I was right. And I can't wait to share this with you today. It is so outstanding on so many levels. And the thing I love about this cocktail is when you see it, it is mysterious. It has this beautifully pristine white foam on top, and then the liquid is jet black, and I'll talk about why in a second. And it kind of reminds me a lot of the bottle sitting in front of us. As you know, this XA bottle is intriguing on its own. If I was a bartender behind a bar, I would be so excited to reach for this bar because I know people are going to say, what is that? And I would be extremely excited to talk about it. And that is Volcan XA with the clear on the bottom so you can see the beautiful liquid moving all the way to the top of the mysterious black on the top to represent the volcano where it came from. This is such a great cocktail, and I can't wait to share with you. So let's just have me stop talking and show you this beautiful, beautiful cocktail called the Black Tie. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a little bit of citrus, lime to be in fact. Lime and tequila just go so well together, and I'm going to do 3/4 of an ounce right into my shaker. And for those not watching, I brought my authentic shakers from Mexico. These are
very handsome.
I know, they're made entirely of copper, hand
The
painted.
most handsome shakers I've ever
I
seen.
mean, when you get something authentic out of Mexico, it is a showstopper, a lot like XA. Now, we're going to add a little bit of some pineapple juice, 1 ounce to be exact. I love pineapple juice for a lot of reasons. People like sour cocktails because it has that foam on top, and that's created by an egg white. That's okay. An egg white over time sends a kind of an off aroma about it. That's what I love about pineapple juice. It has this great foam, and it smells great. Now I'm going to add a little bit of agave, just a little touch of agave nectar because we have some great sweetness from the pineapple. So I'm just going to go 1/4 of an ounce. Don't go too crazy, particularly when using agave nectar. It's a great sweetener, but it has a very sweet forward flavor to it, so you can use less of it. All right. Of course, now our secret weapon, Volcan XA. I mean, the cap on that alone is just like intriguing all in itself. If you've never opened a bottle of XA, the first thing you'll be impressed by is that cap. The next thing you'll be impressed by is the aroma that comes off of it. You have these delicious agave notes coming through, slight bits of pepper. It is just outstanding. And because of the blend of this particular tequila, it allows itself to be something completely different in a cocktail.
Woo!
Nope. Now we're going to add our mysterious part. I'm going to take a little bit of some activated charcoal. This is a coconut charcoal. Now, there's a lot of controversy around using charcoal in cocktails, and for good reason. If I was to dump 50 grams of activated charcoal into this cocktail, that'd be a problem. I think I put less than 1 in here, so it's perfectly fine. Now, the charcoal is going to add a little bit of a texture and that beautiful color that we're talking about. If you're still worried about the charcoal, you can just burn some sesame seeds and grind those up, and you have the same effect. Now, I'm going to add some ice. Just like last time, I brought my own ice. You know how hard this is to carry this on the subway? All right.
I would like some pre-footage of you trying to get all these materials here.
That's bonus footage for
Bonus
for
footage.
our
You are
fans.
dedicated to crafting an expert cocktail here.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so now I'm gonna just put our liquid on top. You wanted to shake this last time. You want to give this a go? Wait, okay. So put your hand over the top and your hand over the bottom because this is a heavy shaker. While you're shaking that, go.
Is that not a good shake?
That's a great shake. That's a fantastic shake. I often get times say, how do I know when I'm done shaking? Well, did you hear those ice chips start to break up? That's when you know you're done shaking. You have to listen to your ice. People make fun of me for that comment, but you have to listen to your ice. Once it starts to chip and you start to hear those little bits, you're done shaking. Well, that was a great shake. I didn't hear the chips.
Thank you.
All right, so Now we're just going to try not to bump microphones here. I wish you could see the dance I'm doing. All right, and then you're just going to...
That is beautiful.
Look at that color.
That is gorgeous and mysterious.
Right. So I'm going to really work on this, getting that foam all out. Normally I have my feet planted on the ground when I shake a cocktail. But so then I'm going to end this with just a little bit of Peychaud bitters. Right over the top. So normally I would have a hefty foam here, but again, I'm sitting down, so I couldn't use my full legs. But I guarantee your shake was perfect, and then I ruined it. But the thing I love about this cocktail is you see it and you're like, oh, that's going to be bitter and almost kind of unwelcoming. But the moment you taste this cocktail with the agave and the pineapple, and of course the beautiful earthy notes and the richness of the sweet agave from Volcan X.A, it completely surprises you. It is just one of those cocktails where you're like, I wouldn't have known it unless I tried it. And I feel the same way about Volcan X.A. If you haven't tried this particular tequila yet, you are missing out. It is so spectacular special. It is great neat, it is great on the rocks, and it improves a cocktail that once I thought was perfected. And then when I was able to add Volcan X.A, it took it to a different level. And I love this cocktail for so many reasons. And, you know, while I thought this cocktail was perfect, and then all of a sudden I was also introduced to the salts, Deena's Mess salts that were created for X.A, took my cocktail, again, which I thought was so great, to the next level. This cocktail has these tropical notes, and I'm using the specialized banana salts for this particular cocktail around the rim, just kind of, again, highlighting those tropical notes of the pineapple and the lime, and it just really takes it to the next level. We have the tequila doing the heavy lifting. Anything surrounding it that is made to perfection will take it to the next level, and these salts do exactly that. So you get on the first taste, you get this brilliant, bright banana right up front, and then you're met with that pineapple and the deliciousness of the X.A and everything to follow. It's really, I'm not kidding. This is one of my favorite cocktails of all time.
I'm so ready to try it.
This is so beautiful, and it looks like obsidian, Brian.
Yeah.
The obsidian you find down in Mexico. Well, thank you for teaching us how to create the Volcan X.A Black Tie. And as they say in Mexico, salud.
Salud.
That was a super cool cocktail that Brian made us. This has been a fun show.
It really has. We have covered a ton of information.
I'm feeling good. It's been a very tequila-y episode. But you're right. We did cover a lot. So I think we should share concisely 3 things that we were inspired by.
Concisely. I don't know if I can do that,
Oy.
but I want to go first, if that's all right. I mean, something that I was very much inspired by was the heritage behind the namesake, learning that Volcan is inspired by an actual volcano in Jalisco, Mexico, and that our beautiful distillery, NAM
1523.
is actually located at the base of it. I thought that was pretty great to know.
It's pretty cool. We talked about with Deanna how the super premium tequila category, it's often something people just sip. But what Brian brought to it was talking about how this can be, such a powerful part of a cocktail and can really upgrade your tequila cocktail. And it's crazy how we're seeing all these bars and restaurants who are using this super premium category of tequila, like the Volcan X.A, and making cocktails from them, and how well that works and how well they sell. It's a really super interesting world that we're in right now with this category of tequila.
That was a delicious cocktail. Yeah. And I love that you're really talking about blending, crafting the perfect cocktail. And when I think about this episode, I can't help but reminisce on the craftsmanship that we talked about, the art of blending, especially with Volcan de mi Tierra, bringing this expertise from champagne and cognac to Mexico, to the world of tequila.
It's incredible.
Cool
Thank
stuff.
you so much for letting us be a part of this journey with
thank
you.
And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Like, follow, subscribe.
We'll see you guys next time.